Lots of people get this wrong before they even start, because the Yorkshire Three Peaks is tougher than you expect. So this is how I'd actually train for it if I'd never done it before. If you're planning on doing it, or even thinking about it, this video will help you. Today we're covering two peaks, actual Yorkshire Three Peaks terrain and everything that catches people out. If you're new here, this is Hilltop Hiker, bringing you meaningful adventures and practical guidance from Britain's hills. Right then, let's get into it. We started from Ribblehead this morning, and honestly it's one of the best places that you can start the Yorkshire Three Peaks from. It's so much quieter than starting Horton in Ribblesdale, which is the standard starting point for the route, and it's really great for parking. Even when it starts to fill up, there's lots of space. And if you get here early enough on a clear day, the sunrise here is absolutely magical. It sounds pretty obvious really, but starting early gives you the time you need, especially when you're doing the full Yorkshire Three Peaks challenge. And on a day like today, you get these paths all to yourself. There really are a lot of things on this route that people really underestimate. I'll show you them as we go along. Carrying a few extra kilos, like I am today with this little man, will definitely help you training and build up your stamina. That's Foreskill over there, and the waterfall is definitely overflowing today. Alright, so we're just starting our ascent proper of Whernside. And this is where a lot of people can make a big mistake, because it does feel fairly easy. It's a steady climb, nothing too demanding. And like here, the paths are pretty good the whole way around, and that's where people are tempted to start too fast. You just need to find a steady rhythm like we are doing now. Save your energy, and trust me, you'll definitely feel better for it later. But if you look at this time of morning, usually about 6:30, 7 o'clock, you get to see a train going over the viaduct, which is always a nice treat. This video today is also episode 3 of our Dales 30 series. Episode 2 was Ingleborough, and today we're doing Whernside and Simon Fell, which is sitting over there next to Ingleborough, shrouded in cloud and mist. So we're in a bit of a sheltered spot now. I think Whernside sometimes gets a bit of a bad rep, with it being such a long drag from the top of Penigent over the summit here on the Yorkshire Three Peaks route. Plus you don't have the drama going up this way that you do ascending Penigent or Ingleborough. You can always go up the other side though, because it is more dramatic, that route. But I actually love this place. It's the highest point in Yorkshire, You get Ribblehead Viaduct and the odd train passing over. Plus for me there's something really special about it. Here we go now, getting closer to the plateau at the top. This is one of the steeper sections. There aren't too many of them on Whernside, but it certainly gets the heart pumping. We're not at the top yet. There's another summit there, hidden by the mist, just emerging there. Well, they've got the right idea. Alright, so here we are on the top. Can't see very much. We're totally cloud covered. It feels great to be up here. It is very gusty up here. I don't know how much you can hear me. It's not that cold, but very, very windy. They don't call it windy Whernside for nothing. We can see the true summit there through the mist, so we're really not far away. Not today, I'm afraid. We're not hanging around up here in this. Now that we're descending and we're not generating much warmth anymore, it's actually pretty cold. That wind's pretty biting, so it's a good job we've got the layers, hat on, gloves on, and let's get down. Okay, so the wind's eased up a little bit, thankfully, and as you can see, the descent down Whernside is steep and very rocky in places. It's also where your legs might start to complain a bit, because going down sections like that can be harder than going up them sometimes. You just take your time though and make sure you get down safely, and then you can pick up the pace again once you get into the valley. Because the Yorkshire Three Peaks isn't just about the hills, it's about the in-between sections where you put the hard yards in. Once you get down here, it definitely eases off. Now this is worth knowing. You can pick up refreshments ahead at Philpin farm and have a comfort break, and there aren't many places like this en route, so you have to make the most of it. There There's Ingleborough in all its glory, and that's where we're headed next. It looks quite daunting from here, doesn't it? By the way, let me know if you're planning to do the Yorkshire Three Peaks, or if you've done it and you've got any tips of your own of how to prepare for these great hills. Drop them down below. Right then, this is where it gets interesting, shall we say. We're starting to head up Ingleborough, and ahead of us, arguably, is one of the toughest sections of the whole of the Yorkshire Three Peaks. It's definitely up there with the steep section up Hennig End. The legs are starting to feel it a bit already, but come on, we'll take it steady and we'll be alright, won't we? This limestone landscape is so unique, isn't it? If you haven't seen my Ingleborough video where we go into the history and geography of this place, and there's so much of it, then check it out. I'll leave a link at the end. That's Simon Fell up there, and that's the final hill we're finishing on today. That there is what we've already done. You see the viaduct in Whernside. And that beast there is yet to come. Well, this little man's asleep, probably dreaming of walking these paths. But when he's old enough, we'll get him doing these hills as well. I don't think it quite shows the scale of it on here, but this section ahead is properly steep. I'll see you when we get to the top. Spot this section, which is green all the way down. You can spot it from miles away. was incredibly cold and windy up there on Ingleborough. We managed to get some food in and refuel. Monty had some food, I had a sandwich, and he's now doing a bit of exploring on his long lead. We'll give him a mile or so. He's not able to go too far at this age. He's absolutely loving his freedom. And the terrain here changes a lot. Now we're heading over Simon Fell. So we're off the Three Peaks route and away from the crowds. We haven't seen anybody really today, just the odd one or two people. Well, up here we're probably not likely to see anybody at all. So right now we're heading across Simon Fell. We've left the main Yorkshire Three Peaks route, and this is where the route changes slightly. You notice it straight away, especially on a busy day. It's just so quiet and isolated on here. You go from walking on what is a very, very busy route often to a solitary windswept path. And Monty Boy's back in his carrier again now. We're walking the path that skirts the edge of Simon Fell, which gives the best views, but it's also very, very exposed to the elements. As we said earlier, this is actually one of the Dales 30, which we've been working our way through. And the Dales 30 are 30 summits of over 2,000 feet. And they all sit within the Yorkshire Dales National Park boundary. We've been in the Western Dales so far, having covered Fountains Fell and Ingleborough. So keep an eye on the channel and we'll be covering more of the Western Fells in Series 1. The paths are still quite clear on here, although they're not as obvious as the main Yorkshire Three Peaks route. There's no flagging down here, apart from my legs that is. Okay, so we're just on the top of Park Fell. That's the summit over there. And we're just about to start dropping down back towards Ribblehead Viaduct again. Oh, look at those views of the viaduct over there. You can see the car park. You can see lots of cars in the lay-by at the side of the road. Mine was the first one there this morning, but there are plenty more there now. Still lots of space though. We've got a train passing over the viaduct there. What a great sight. Right, here we go. We're on the last stretch now. And believe it or not, this is good preparation as well. Steep descents like this one ahead really test your ankles and your knees. So you're building up that strength and that muscle memory for when you do the main challenge itself. Your footwear really matters on these walks as well. You need something grippy and with ankle support, because all it takes is one false step and you'll end up with more than just a rolled ankle. Well, we got down that steep section there and we did it without slipping, which is quite an achievement really. It was really muddy and slippery in places. So we're pretty much done now. We've done about 15 miles so far. We've got another mile or so back. When you do this walk, you get a proper feel for what the Yorkshire Three Peaks actually feels like. You don't want to rush into the full Yorkshire Three Peaks challenge. You're better off starting with a walk like this to prepare yourself. And if you're planning to do the full challenge, check out my 10 tips video where I do the full route. It'll help massively. Or delve deeper into all things Ingleborough by watching this video here. And if you want more walks like this, ones with a bit of purpose, subscribe and come along. You're always welcome out here.